Hey guys, what is going on? It is the beginning of December and we are right smack dab in the middle of the holiday season. Being as such, we are going to start pumping out some holiday designs for you guys. And I created a brand new design for you guys to show off your holiday spirit on your guys' Razer keyboard setups. So just so you guys know, this video is being created because of you guys and how you guys voted on my community tab. From time to time, I always drop in some polls to see what you guys want to see for the next Razer keyboard lighting design. Make sure you guys are following my community tab so that you guys have input on what content you guys want to see on this channel. For today's design, we're going to be making a Rudolph theme design, and it's got lots of effect layers on it, all kinds of different gadgets, audio meters, ripple effects, reactives. You guys are not going to want to miss out on how to make this design. There will be download links in the description below if you want to go to my website and just download it and have it on your Razer keyboards. But if you want to learn how I made this design, we're going to get right into that right now. This profile is called Rudolph. Let's go. Alright guys, here we go with the tutorial of how to do the Rudolph design. So we're going to start with a brand new Chroma profile. So click on these three dots up here in the middle and click add. Now we're going to go to the left side where it says spectrum cycling. We're going to click these three dots and we're going to change this to a static effect. Double click on any of your affected keys and it will highlight all of the affected keys. And we're going to make this a dark green. So we're just going to slide this brightness meter all the way down here to a really dark green. Hex code I have for this is 002400. That's all we're doing for this layer. We're going to move on to our next one. With this next layer, we're going to add a starlight effect. So click on your starlight effect layer. We're going to select all of our lighting zones around our keyboard. Click on the color drop down, and we're going to keep the single node color pattern here, but we're going to change this color node to all white. So 6 Fs as a hex code. That looks good. I'm going to click off of that. I'm going to increase my density up all the way to 10 and keep my duration at medium. I'm just going to hit save there. So that looks good for that. Now for every other lighting peripheral that I have, so all of my other Razer devices, I'm just going to select all of them at once here. Click on my color drop down, choose the single node pattern right here, and we're going to change this green to red. And I'm going to up my density to about 5. So now you should have pops of red along with your green going around your whole desktop setup. The next layer we're going to do for this design is a static effect layer. So we're going to click on static to add another one. With this static layer, we're going to be making the Rudolph outline. So making sure that this new static layer is selected, we're going to hold Control and we're just going to start selecting out the shape of this Rudolph head. So these are going to be the keys that I'm going to use for Rudolph's head. And I'm just going to click in this color box up here on the top right. And I'm just going to move it around. I'm just clicking and I'm holding the mouse button down. And I'm just dragging this around until I get a nice color that I want to represent like Rudolph's skin color. So I'm going to go with this right here. And I'm going to just drag it a bit darker in here. Just like this. The hex code that I'm using for this color is 805420. And now I'm going to click off of this into the gray area here. And I'm going to hold Control again. And I'm just going to pick out a few keys to represent Rudolph's nose. Okay. So I'm going to go with these keys right here. This is going to be like the muzzle before his nose. Okay. And with these keys, we're just going to leave it the same color, but we're going to drag it a bit darker. And after that, we can click this B key in the middle here and we'll just color that red for right now. So that looks good right there. Now we're going to make Rudolph's eyes. I'm going to click on this D key right here. And then I'm also going to click on this K key. I'm going to hold Control and just scroll wheel in here so that you guys can see a little bit better here. With this D key and K key selected, we're actually going to make this black. I'm going to choose 000001 for a hex code here. So we're going to select these keys right here for the white, and we'll make this a white color. So 6 Fs is a hex code. So now you got Rudolph's nose, his eyes, and we'll start working on his antlers. I'm gonna go back to this brown color we chose right here. Just select this brown color key, and I'm gonna hold Control and press C to copy that. And I'm gonna start selecting out some keys to represent his antlers. Holding Control once again, I'm gonna just use that to select all of the keys that represent Rudolph's antlers here, and we're going to paste in that brown color by hitting Control V. And instead of leaving that dark brown, we're going to brighten this up quite a bit and make his antlers much brighter than the rest of his body. All right, so that basically outlines our Rudolph, but we're going to add a little bit of animation to him and make his eyes blink and stuff like that. So to make his eyes blink, we're going to use a wave layer. So click on that wave effect to add a wave effect layer. First, what we're going to do is go back into our static layer. We're going to select a key that represents his hair right here, this lighter brown color, and we're going to click on the hex code, and we're going to copy this hex code that we have right here, whatever hex code you used for that color brown. Go back into your wave layer, and with this new wave layer selected, what we're going to do is we're going to hold Control, and we're going to select out the keys that make Rudolph's eyes, so all the white and black keys. And what we're going to do with our color drop down here is we're going to select that color drop down, and we're going to choose this 3 node pattern right here. We're going to click on this center node, and we're going to make that the same color brown as his skin. So double click in the hex code box and paste in that hex code, that color brown that you pulled from the other layer. So with that done, we're just going to slide this node over just a little bit here and click this add button. That's going to copy that node that we just made. So here we have 2 brown nodes in the middle, and these outside nodes we're going to click and make invisible. We're going to make those invisible and just slide those in right next to the brown. This one also invisible, slide that in next to that node. So with that done, we're going to click off of our color, and we're going to click down here, and we're going to change our pause to 3. So 3 seconds per pause, and we're going to make our width here 50. We're going to change our angle up to 0, and that's all we're doing for this right here. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to hold Control, and we're going to deselect the E key, the D key, K, and O key. So we have the S, X, the comma, and the L key still selected. All right, with those selected, we're going to click on our color drop down here, and we're going to just move the brown in and make a smaller brown area for this blink effect that we're creating, and just tighten the invisible nodes up next to that. Now we're done, but we have to tweak a couple of things so that his blink is in sync right now, because as you can see, the blink doesn't look very natural. It doesn't look like he's blinking. He looks like an alien, right? So we're going to make him look like it's an actual blink. To do that, we have to make each horizontal row unique. So by double clicking on my X key, I can see that all 4 of these keys are the same exact effect. There's no difference between them. And we want each horizontal row to be unique from the other horizontal rows for this to work. So I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to deselect my S key and my L key. Now I'm only working on this horizontal row right now. And with those 2 keys selected, I'm going to click my color drop down. I'm going to click on this color brown node, this first brown node here, and I'm going to change my last hex code by 1 digit. So right now it's a 0. I'm going to change that to a 1. So you can see now by making this horizontal row different from this horizontal row that they act independently, and they are in sync, and they go off at the same exact time. So we're going to do that with this upper part here too. By double clicking on this O key, it selects all of these 4 keys that are exactly the same. We're going to do the same thing by holding Control, deselecting the D and the K key, and we're going to click on our color drop down, click on our first node, and we're going to change that last digit of our hex code by 1. So from 0 to 1, hit save, and now there should be a blinking effect from our Rudolph design. So now that we have our Rudolph blinking, let's do a couple other fun things with this wave layer to add some more animation into this design. We're going to click on our red nose, and with this wave layer selected, we're going to click this color drop down, and we're actually going to choose this 5-node pattern this time, this yellow, black, and green pattern. And this outside node right here, we're going to make red. Actually, let's just go ahead and make every node here red. We'll make every node red. And we're just going to close these 2 nodes in around the middle node a little bit. And the middle node we're going to leave red, but the nodes around the middle one we're going to drag a little bit darker. So this second node, I'm going to drag this down to right about here. And so I have 780000 for a hex code. So I'm going to click on the node on the other side of my middle node, and I'm going to use the same hex code, 780000. And for the outside nodes here, we're going to make this a really dark red. So I'm going to drag it way down on the brightness scale, 1F0000. I'm going to use the same one for this side. You got 1F0000. So now we have a blinking red light for our Rudolph's nose. One more thing that I'm going to do with my Huntsman Elite, because I have the exterior lighting zones around my keyboard, I'm going to hold Control, and I'm just going to select those zones that are around my keyboard. I'm not going to touch the sides yet. I'm just doing the top and the bottom, these keys right here, these lighting zones. I'm going to click on my color drop down, and I'm going to choose this 5-node pattern again, and I'm going to click this middle node, and I'm going to drag it over here to the yellow one. I'm going to make this node red, and then I'm going to hit the plus sign to copy that. And I'm going to drag this node all the way over to the next one. So they're right up against these nodes. The outside nodes, we can go ahead and delete those, both of those. So now we have just 4 nodes in this, and it's basically cut into thirds almost. So the very first node that's currently yellow, we're going to change to green, and this outside node over here is already green. We're just going to keep that green. Currently it's just in a wave pattern going to the right, but I'm going to choose the split option, and I'm going to lower my speed down to about 8. So we have this slower wave pattern going on the outside of our keyboard. With these keys selected right here, I'm going to hold Control and press C to copy them, and then I'm going to select just my outside lighting zones. So with these outside lighting zones selected, I'm going to paste in what I did with the other one, but I'm going to change my angle up to 0, and then I'm going to hit save. That's it for the main body of this design, but we're going to add a couple more things to spice up the profile a little bit. We're going to add an audio meter, a ripple, and a reactive layer. And if you don't want those on your keyboard, you guys can just go ahead and stop right now. I know a lot of people don't like to use them, but if you want to see how I did my audio meter layer, my ripple, and my reactive, then I'm going to show you how to do that. Next, we're going to add the audio meter layer. So go ahead and click on your audio meter effect. With this new audio meter selected, we're going to hold Control, and we're just going to start selecting some of these random green keys that are around our Rudolph design here. So selecting some of our random keys out here. I'm going to go with those for just right now. My decay I'm going to leave alone here, but my boost I'm going to change that up to 1.5. That's what seems to work best on my computer. Depending on how you guys have your audio set up, you guys might want something different. You just got to tweak that around a little bit. So I have my boost at 1.5. I'm going to click my color drop down here, and I'm going to choose this 3-node pattern right here. My outside nodes for this I'm going to make invisible, and my inside node here I'm going to make red for right now. I'm going to drag this over to here, and I'm going to just tighten this in a little bit here. And that's all I'm going to do for this. I'm going to hold Control and press the C key, which is going to copy this effect. And then I'm going to click off of this into the gray area, which deselects all my keys. I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to select a few more different keys than the ones I just chose. You can see the ones I chose just now are highlighted green. I'm going to choose some more random keys that that are not the same as those ones. So a handful of keys here. So here I'm going to go with these ones, and I'm just going to paste in that effect that I made. So you can see the red effect has been pasted in here. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to just move this down to the right a little bit. I'm moving my whole pattern down to the right just a tad, and I'm going to click on this red node, and I'm going to make the red node green. All right, that's all we're doing. So hold Control, press C to copy that effect, click off of that to deselect all your keys, hold Control and select some more keys that you haven't changed yet. So here's another handful of keys. We're going to paste in that green effect that we made. So here's the green effect. Click on that color drop down. Do the same thing. We're going to drag this to the right a little bit. Drag everything to the right and everything to the right. Okay, and now we're going to change this back to red. And that's all we're doing. Control C to copy that. Deselect all your keys. And hold Control and just select some more keys here. Some more keys that we haven't changed yet. I'm going to hold Control and press V to paste in my design. Here we have this red effect. I'm going to move everything down to the right a little bit more. Moving all my nodes to the right. And we're going to change it to green once again. Copy that. Deselect. And pick out our last little set of keys that we want to change. And we're going to hit paste. So click on our color drop down, and we're going to drag this all the way over to the right. Drag this one in, and we're going to drag this over to the right. We're going to click on this green key and make that red and hit save. And that is all we're doing for the audio meter layer. So now you can see when I start to play music, these little spots that we changed and added effects to will start to light up red and green as audio changes. So here I'm going to play a little bit of music so you guys can see what it's like. So you can see as the music is playing, we have our red and green lights just going off all over. Which is a pretty cool effect. I think it looks pretty cool. Alright guys, now that our audio meter layer is done, we're going to add a ripple and a reactive layer. Go ahead and click ripple to add that ripple layer here. And with this ripple effect, what I did is I selected my keys from my keyboard here, my lighting zones, and click on your color drop down here. And we're going to choose this 3-node pattern right here. Alright. This right node, we're going to drag all the way over to the left. We're going to make it invisible. And we're going to drag it back to the right, not even like barely anything, okay? We're just going to drag it back to the right, like barely anything, like that much space, okay? And this key we're going to keep red, and we're just going to drag that over right next to it, okay? Barely moved anything, but that little bit of movement goes a long way with this ripple effect that I'm trying to create. That's all we're doing for this layer. I'm going to hit save and click off of that. Now you can see when I press a key, there's just a small bit of red that's going around the keyboard. It's not like a traditional ripple that ripples across your entire keyboard. It stops almost immediately after the key pressed. Alright, so with that done, we're going to add a reactive layer. Click on your reactive effect to add that. And we're going to select all of our lighting zones on our keyboard. Click our color drop down, and I'm going to choose green for my reactive. Hit save. And that is all for this profile. Now when you touch keys, they light up green, but there's also a little bit of red around the green that you're touching as well. So it makes for a really cool effect. That's it for this design. I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. Here's the showcase to show you guys what this profile looks like.
Come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Come, let us adore him. Come, let us adore him. Come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on future Razer keyboard lighting designs. And don't be afraid to leave a comment in the comment section below telling me what you guys want to see on a Razer keyboard. A lot of my profiles are made because of your guys' comments. I get a lot of my content ideas from the words that you guys say. So please don't be scared to leave a comment down below. You can also contact me on my social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, tag me, show me what you guys are making on your keyboards. I'd love to see that stuff. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.